Part of our show. It's trivia on Q from the Robin Hood episode, which I don't remember the name. Was it Cupid? Is it that obvious? That would make sense. Let's see if the card will educate us. Ooh, are these trivia questions? Can I use the Well, I'm going to get my money's worth out of the card. All right. Let's just do it. This is about Q. There are trivia cards in the Skybox sets. These are Skybox, right? No, they're something else I've never heard of before. Well, it doesn't matter. All right. Where did the Enterprise first encounter Q? Well, yes, this is Encounter of Farpoint, the very first episode. If you'd like to know more about that craziness, see if you can still stream for free Chaos on the Bridge. It's a Shatner documentary, but it is revealing in some of the chaos that went on in that first season. Now, I can understand Encounter at Farpoint just fine. I don't know what the hiccups are. You have two stories running concurrently here. You have the introduction of Q, and then you have what's going on in Farpoint Station, where they're exploiting this alien being that can create objects. Okay, and Q's task is tasks. He tasks me, and I shall have them. He wants to see how the Enterprise crew deals with this situation. So Q is, obviously they needed to make a 40-minute episode into the 90 minutes to make for a 2-hour TV pilot. So you're kind of shoehorning in and trying to get them together. It's difficult to do. And then you have the saucer separation and all that fun stuff. But yeah, this is Encounter at Farpoint. So sometimes I'm still happy that we have trivia questions here. I was not aware that was a thing. My cat is making a nuisance of herself, as she often does, and it's irritating. All right. Ooh, the answers will be on the bottom too. I like that. So we can just look at this is a long one. La 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 la. Okay, so that's B. Okay. Although the Enterprise was the first Federation vessel to contact Q, he's been around for quite some time. Which crew member had previously encountered Q? Well, I suppose that the easy answer is Guinan. Sorry, the cat's distracting me. Just one moment. I forgot where I was at because I had to take care of the cat. So we could do two strands on this. We could just say Guinan and call it a day. From the Q Who episode with the Borg. Whoopi's doing this stuff with her hands. Because we didn't know anything about Guinan, and we still don't to some extent. But I want to complicate this, and it goes outside the scope of the Next Gen card from 1992 and talk about Thaddius Riker. I don't have much to talk about when we talk about Thaddius Riker. So, Thaddius Riker was in the American Civil War, I think. This was a Voyager episode. Voyager did its share of Q episodes. This is but one of them. So for the sake of this question, let's just say Guinan and call it a day. Okay, only 3 questions on the card. The Q is generally found by himself. Is the Q a lone entity? No, it is not. We forget about Corbin Bernsen Q, or Q from. Well, now we're getting into Voyager, which is beyond the scope of the time this card was written. But we have that whole Voyager arc of episodes with the Qs and their battle, and I think we do Civil War again with Voyager. They were just so about Thaddius Riker, they wanted to do a Civil War Q episode. It's been a while since I had even thought about that, So no, it's a continuum of different entities calling. And then we had Worf's dead wife as a Q. That actress, Suzie something, starts with a P. I'm not gonna butcher the last name. I have an idea what it is, but I'll put her in the thing, the chapter breaks for today. All right, so we have 3 surprise questions about Q. So that's nice. I wish all the cards would have a little bit of trivia in them. So let's turn it around, and this is easy. How about this? We have the answers on the bottom. Farpoint Station, encounter at Farpoint. I think I read that as what episode, but no, where did? So Farpoint Station, yes. And Guinan, who claims to have met Q 200 years ago, and no, the Q are part of the Q continuum. It's like I wrote these questions myself. All right, how about that card? What are my thoughts on Q after just answering those questions? As a wee little child, I got stuck at home watching a lot of Days of Our Lives. So I remember John Lancie from Days of Our Lives. I also remember Colm Meaney from One Life to Live, maybe? He played this like some henchman for a bit. Pretty sure it was One Life to Live. That was on ABC. Now we're getting into my Gen X memories. I think that's where a lot of the show's going to end up going after I had a short discussion on Commando and Weird Science a couple rounds ago. And I remember, do you remember that? Yeah. John Lancie also did like the pilot to one of the many reboots of Mission Impossible. I just remember he was playing miniature golf, and he was a killer that had no plan. So he spontaneously thought of how he was going to kill. Or maybe he wasn't a killer so much as an assassin, because that makes more sense for Mission Impossible. That's my only takeaway from that series. And I guess My Little Pony folks know him from one of the cartoons. I recall watching that documentary a few years back. Yeah, there it is. What do I think about the Qs? I don't give them much thought. I don't outwardly dislike the Q episodes. Obviously, all good things. It's a very important Q episode, and apparently they're bringing in John Lancie to save Picard, the series, in whatever form it may take. So, in part of me, I am looking forward to seeing how they're going to maneuver around that. Yeah, I guess I don't have much to say on Q. Maybe we'll call this a quick episode. And a surprise that my little prologue cards are finally generating some questions of their own. But, no mention of the Robin Hood stuff in the 3 questions for the Q card from 1992. And of course, the series wasn't even over by 92, so that's all the card had. Now that second Q episode in the first season where he gives Riker the power of the Q, that's a tough episode to get through. I think mainly because they're just on a soundstage, and it's just this green soundstage, and then Frakes doesn't quite have his role. He can't find the character yet, so he's just doing a lot of this with his chin and looking upward. And I'm sure very uncomfortable in the one piece that they have them all in the first 2 seasons of Next Gen. And I remember the pig people in the French military garb, like 18th century French outfits. And in the first season, there was still the illusion that Patrick Stewart was trying to play someone from France. So you see a little bit of that in the first season, and I think that finally ended after a bit. Yeah, that's Q. I'm just kind of vamping now. I don't have nothing's coming to me about the Q. So that's all. Well, maybe there's something coming out the Q. The thing about having this omnipotent being that can control time and space and everything, it makes for a really, I'm sure it makes for a difficult writing task, because what do you do with this? And so that's why you have, and much like the Borg, yeah, this scary enemy that you have to gradually whittle back down so these small little humans can defeat it. Insurmountable odds and so on and so forth. So I guess on a philosophical level, I mean, what are we looking at for Q? Is he a godlike being? Is he casting judgment on us all? That certainly was the case in All Good Things, right? So where does he rank on where are the Organians? Where are the Mentrons? Does it even matter? He's not an ascendant being like in well, I'm gonna stop. You know, I'm thinking of the I want to say Metamorphoses, but that's not it. The Metamorphosis. Okay, I'm just gonna call this one a day. Try to get my head in a good place, and see how much I cut out of it later. So that is the day, and go and have one.